Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday's edition of the program Shagalinku. Yes, we're back here, and thanks to everyone who is right here now. You can also share our link, it's right there. Just share it to your friends and families and let them also be part of the program. Today, we're looking at a continuation, not really, but then we're x-raying everything that's been happening, and we're asking that in the face of injustice, how can we also begin to broker and foster peace? Because tensions are high, everyone seems to be in a vendetta, everyone seems to be on a revenge mode. Okay. So the year's been a terrible one, I must say. 2020 just came with a baggage of a whole lot, from COVID 19 to Black Lives Matters and then NSAS, and so much is still happening. Anyway, I have my guest here. I'm actually having two guests. One is still on his way, and then one is already here. And just to also say that the comment sections are there. You can be part of it. Just drop your comments on what we're looking at. We're asking, how can citizens begin to foster peace in the society, in our community? How do we begin to live together as one in spite of everything that has happened? Like I stated earlier on, tensions are really, really high. A whole lot is happening, and the internet is being broken all the time with so much happening. Well, today I have my guest here, and he's a regular. He actually needs no introduction. But then, for starters, let me just say this is Kareem Jackson. He's
Hello,
a
everybody.
Black
How are you?
American. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the welcome back to your show. I appreciate that, Ambassador Emmanuel. It's wonderful. Nice to see you again, you guys.
Yeah, welcome. So, take us through who Kareem Jackson is. I know you're a whole lot. You are a publisher. You're an author. You are an American serial entrepreneur. Now, how do you juggle all this? You know, I ask you this every time you come on this show. How do you juggle all this? And tell us more about Kareem Jackson.
Well, mainly, I've been an entrepreneur since I was in elementary school, man. I went to American International School in Nigeria. My family is an entrepreneurial family for three generations now, four generations. So mainly, I just like entrepreneurship. It wasn't really about money for me for a long time, but business wise, I'm considered a writer, but I do business development. So I help companies to outsource their business processes to make more profits or to declutter their business practices. So we do a lot of ebooks, business plans, websites, IT development, marketing. I have magazines, I have books I've published. You guys can see more, a little plug if you don't mind, Emmanuel, at creamantonio.com, you guys. And we just mainly help entrepreneurs. But I've done tons of business, Emmanuel, like restaurants, limousine companies, marketing businesses, magazines, everything. And then what I found now that I'm older, I like helping entrepreneurs to achieve their success and to get their stuff that they want done. So I live actually right now, as you said, I'm an American from California. My family's from the Midwest in the United States, but I grew up abroad. I'm in family business, but now I'm in Asia right now. I'm in the Philippines Islands right now. So that's why it's evening. Whereas in America, if you're looking at this, mom, hey, good morning to you. It's about 9 a.m. there where they're at. So that's mainly
Wow.
me in a nutshell, bro.
Well, quite a handful and quite a mouthful as well.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
thinking, what do I do? People ask, what do I do? And business development is what I do, but my passion is I'm a writer. I mean, I write business plans, marketing plans. But Emmanuel, it's funny that you have this show about this topic. The reason understand why I'm in business is a great thing now. It's noble now. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. But how it started was, Black Americans. My grandfather couldn't get a job because of slavery in the States and the segregation and racism. And then my father had the same issue. So they were in business, my grandmother as well, by default, you know. And then I was in the US Air Force out of high school. I went to American International School, also in elementary school in Lagos. So I just really been around business my whole life. And I tried the military, I tried corporate America. It wasn't me. So I went back to entrepreneurship, and that was 30 years ago. So
I have an aunt who her husband never liked her being a businesswoman. Every time they quarrel, the husband will say, "You are a graduate, for God's sake. Why are you just going to the market and selling things? Go to the office and be a posh lady." And she keeps telling me, "Emmanuel, business is just my life. If you take out business from me, I might just die." So I understand what you go through.
Yeah, I've tried. I've really tried. And now that I'm older, I'm more on the money. I'm thinking more about, more long-term projects, longer.
Mm,
But for me, business all my life was just a way to be free. It was a way to live anywhere I wanted to live. It was a way to, I didn't care. No one asked what color you were. No one asked what degree you
mm,
had. So when I started in high school, no one knew that I was the owner. They just thought I was some kid working. I cut grass when I was in high school. I had a car wash too. So they just thought I was some kid who worked there, or my dad owned it or something like that. And it was a way to be free. And of course, at that time, you couldn't work unless you were 15 in America, which is still the case, and even 18 in Asia here, right? So the loophole is you could own a business though. So that's how I did it.
sure, sure, sure. Okay, let's just come back now. And in case you're watching, the links have been shared. So you could just share the links as well. Everyone watching us, please drop your comments, support our guest. We're looking at how citizens can begin to make sure we broker peace. Emotions are so high right now. And I will ask Kareem this. Let's even start from there. 2020 came up and we're heralding a year filled with prospects, blessings, and all that. And then from nowhere, COVID-19 came in. We were still at that. And then Black Lives Matter came in. I know you were in the forefront of all that because you were so vocal about it, and you had me on your show. We talked about it a couple of times too on your show. Take us through the Black Lives Matter journey. And now that Nigeria is having almost similar thing, and SARS and all that, because there are also police brutality here and there. So take us through Black Lives Matters and why you think there are similarities with Nigeria's and SARS.
Well, I'm not sure of the similarities exactly, but let me start with Black Lives Matter. Mainly, how that started was mainly a movement. It was by a Black woman who started that as a hashtag, from what I understand. But mainly, we were just trying to make them realize in America that we matter. So, as a Black American, you just kind of live your life knowing there's things you can't do, there's things you can't say, there's places you can't go. Even me, no matter. My last name is Jackson. I'm a very successful family. I had a fabulous car, fabulous home. But if I was wearing the wrong clothes in the wrong neighborhood, or even my own neighborhood, I lived in a nice neighborhood, I didn't have my ID in my pocket, or if I didn't get a chance to speak and they could hear my articulate accent, then I would have an issue. I never had hair in America in my life. I never had a beard in my life in America. I never worn a hoodie in America. I never wore a baseball cap in America. I never wore tennis shoes in America unless it was at the gym. Or if I did, they were like K-Swiss, I didn't want to seem too, hood up, but you knew it. You kind of knew it. And that was just the way that it was. And I got tired of that, though, in 2008, when the recession hit. And that's when I started making my exit and outsourcing my company. And really, I think that the issue that we like, and I think that Black and African as well sees it, is the whole world stood behind that Black Lives Matter movement, bro. It wasn't just like our great grandparents where they were protesting in the streets and they didn't have any money and they just needed to, they wanted to vote. Now it's still going on, but now Black Americans have money, we have power, we have entrepreneurship, we have more knowledge, and it was global. Social media made it to where you're protesting in Africa, you're protesting in Europe, you're protesting in Korea. To the whole world saw the racism in the States. And with the SARS, I'm so sorry to hear about that happening in Africa right now. I'm not sure how that even popped up. It's crazy what's been going on in 2020. But how I see it is, hate to say this, but the truth of it is that Black people, we're very tough, so we can do, there's things that I can do that I know my Asian friends and my white friends can't do. like walking in the rain, for example, or, things like that. When we were in America, we were the best slaves they ever had. They tried Indians, they tried Chinese. Everyone died. They didn't make it even across the river. I mean, across the ocean, never alone in the field, in the hot sun, or in the snow in the Midwest and things like that. We were just built differently. And then in America, through, slavery breeding, the creme de la creme rose to the top nowadays. And so we are a little tougher. And so that makes a lot of people, I think that Blacks, we can handle everything. They think, that we can just deal with it. And they don't realize, yeah, but, SARS is a deadly disease. In America, the coronavirus is killing mainly Black people because of the low income and the bad quality food that we have and the things that they have in the States. I think that the SARS in Africa is kind of doing the same thing. And as citizens, I think that what we can change in all of that for Americans, for Black Lives Matter right now, we're in the middle of an election right now. We have literally 2 weeks before we have a new president, so vote. We're focused on reparations, which get our money for the money that we lost for being slavery. And then, of course, the racism and the Jim Crow laws after that. And then get your passport and then invest globally and travel and see the world and realize that you don't have to give all of your money to America. You don't have to give, you can invest abroad. This is the same as whites do. And in Africa overall, I think better food, man, better food. Us really supporting each other more as a Black community would help. And I really think that we really need to really focus on entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship to a lot of people just means working for yourself. They don't realize that, yeah, maybe you don't make a lot of money in entrepreneurship. Maybe your company isn't going to give you what a corporate job may give you, but you don't own that job. So it's like someone telling me, oh, you need to own your home. And then I'm thinking, but you have a job. So what mentality are you talking about? Sure. Because at the end of the day, when we own it, you have a lot more leverage, a lot more value, a lot more insights, a lot more control over your life or over your community. But a lot of times, I think in this generation, we were so busy begging for jobs that now we've forgotten the power of entrepreneurship and owning, even if it's a small piece, owning it. And now all over the world, I think they've got us focused on material wealth. So instead of us appreciating, like you were saying, even the small store girl that has a store, not realizing if she made $100, for example, in that store, that's probably like $300, $400, $500 at a job. It's the value of it. And I think that if we really got into supporting one another and then get into business and taking pride and ownership, it would fix a lot of things. People don't think about it, but it's a lot different when you own it, when you own something, when you walk into a hospital or when you walk into an election or when you meet a politician. When you say that I own this or I own that or I invented that or I made that or I'm an investor in that, even if it's a small amount, it just changes the way that you think. And the blessing through the pandemic is that I think the whole world kind of woke up at the same time to realize job isn't guaranteed. You can't always go there. And a lot of people, especially in America, myself included, in America, a lot of people's hustles saved their life through this pandemic. They were selling on the side, or they were doing parties on the side, or they were making meals in the kitchen on the weekends, or they were doing shirts in their basement, and that saved their butts because 40 million Americans lost their jobs in the last 6 months. 20 million should have evictions, and I think that woke a lot of people up. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Well, in case you just joined us, the program is Shagalinku TV, and this is a Tuesday's edition. And I have my very good friend here, Kareem Jackson, all the way from Philippines. And we're looking at how citizens can begin to do well and bring peace. Kareem, let me come back to you again. I like the fact that you talked about Black Lives Matters and how the world supported it. Now, there is a school of thought that says that even during the NSAS movement or protest, we didn't get as much support from the world, just like the world also gave to America during Black Lives Matters. One particular point of note was when a very popular musician in Nigeria called Tiwa Savage called out Beyonce. It went viral on social media, and Beyonce's mother had to also reply her and said a whole lot. All her Beyonce's fans and people were just attacking the Nigerian musician Tiwa Savage because she said that Beyonce has a lot of fans in Nigeria. She's worked with a couple of Nigerian musicians, and now that Nigerian youth and Nigerians are protesting police brutality via NSAS, Tiwa expected Beyonce to have also lent a voice, just like a couple of other celebrities abroad were doing. In her words, she said, "Come on, when it was Black Lives Matters, the Nigerians came out for America. A whole lot of celebrities were using the hashtag and all that." So she felt disappointed that Beyonce didn't do all that. So take us through what you think about this, because it's like a divide. Some said, well, Beyonce is a human being. She could decide not to support NSAS movement. Others said Beyonce has a huge fan in Nigeria and she's worked with a whole lot of Nigerian musicians. So they expected she could also lend her voice. So what's your take?
Well, let me give you two things. I've lived in Africa as well, so I do a lot. I know a lot of African celebrities as well personally, and two frames of, well, three. I'll give you three. One is Beyonce's not exactly fully black. That's one. Okay, she's mixed. Maybe you should get mad at her husband. Maybe get mad at him. Two, I think a lot of Americans are, in general, especially blacks, are disconnected. They really, and I don't mean just because of slavery and things like that, of course, as well, but disconnected from the global economy. A lot of regular, especially minority people, they don't know the news. They don't hear what's going on. Even when I was talking about Corona and I had my radio show on FM radio station here in the Philippines, we were in quarantine. We knew what was going on back in December 2019. And America was still saying the Corona was a hoax. So they really believed it. And, until 3 months ago, they really didn't jump into action, maybe 4 months ago. When we were already slightly opening up here, they were just now thinking, oh, my God, and nearly 250,000 deaths later, America is in crisis right now. And I don't think that they have the capacity to think of anyone else, because at the end of the day, even Beyonce, all of them, they're not making any money. And Corona has affected America, in my opinion, more than any country in the world, including China, including Korea, including Italy, right? Including England and Europe, right? Because
France.
They just didn't think about the reality of it. They didn't really understand that it affects people that have the cheap food, high stress lifestyles, unhealthy living. So in defense of them, including myself, because I haven't done a show about SARS in Africa yet. The celebrities didn't call me though. So, but I look at it as Black Lives Matter. It didn't happen. And then all of a sudden the world kicked in. Black Lives Matter is not a new movement. It didn't happen this year. It just that everybody was at home during Corona and they saw the social media and it outraged people. And mind you, the black man that was killed on the street with the cop's knee on his neck, that happened in broad daylight on the street in front of an outside restaurant and then a supermarket next door to it. So that dramatic, and I think no American even thought that it would go into what it was. No one thought that it would take off the way that it did. But I think that, remember, Americans been yelling about the racism and all the issues and the Black Lives Matter for centuries. It's really heavy for my generation and my dad's generation. So finally, everyone kicks in. And I'll say this because I've lived in America. I lived in Africa. I will say this. And I know Americans told me this. It's not really the way that they think, but understand a lot of Americans, you saw Black Panther, right? A lot of Black Americans are bitter that Africans never came and saved us, 400 years ago. They don't understand why. Of course, there's technology. We know where you were human trafficked. Where how can we find you? But a lot of people look back and say, well, no one helped us, and we've been alone. So I think that a lot of Black Americans, Beyonce and those types included, the Black elite, they call them, what are they going to do? Get on the platform and help them out? I mean, they've got to push the platform. They've got to go and push it for themselves. Remember, Americans have been protesting, Black Americans, we've been protesting this for generations, every generation. My generation, now my baby sisters are protesting Black Lives Matter. That's not my generation. Those are young people, right? So it's a perpetuating. And for the whole SARS and police brutality, I think the big difference, to be honest, Black Lives Matter is not really, and it's criticized, by the way, for not speaking directly to Black on Black crime in America. Black Lives Matter specifically is pretty much talking about how whites treat Blacks, how whites are killing Blacks in cold blood or unarmed Blacks, whereas they're not really addressing the issue of Black on Black crime or Black on Black murder or gangs and things like that. So I think the perception of SARS and the police in Africa is not the police that we're protesting. It's the racist police that we're protesting. It's not just the random police shootings and things like that, or crooked cops or gangbangers. It's not like that. And I think that a lot of the African celebrities, they've got to reach out there. They've got to make people realize that even though these police are Black, or they're Nigerians, or they're, Kenyans or whatever, they're from the local area and we're the same color, it's still brutality. But you know what, brother, it's not racism though. So the real thing that we're protesting is the racism. They killed him because he was Black. If he was white, they wouldn't have done it. I think that's a little different mentality. It may be the same to an African, you know what I'm saying, to someone back, but for us, they're not protesting against police exactly. They're protesting specifically against racism in the police force. So if that lends any, credibility to Beyonce.
But I can understand with the pains of Tiwa Savage, because Tiwa has also been on some of Beyonce's work. So it's really not even about maybe racism or police brutality, but this was coming from, I'm not speaking for her anyway, but I could reason with her lines that this is coming from, if I'm your brother's keep, if I'm your brother, I expect when something is wrong with you, I should be there for you, okay? So maybe Tiwa wasn't just saying, maybe Tiwa didn't just feel like even if Beyonce had come out to say anything, it wasn't going to change anything anyway. But then it's just a solidarity. Tiwa was like, hey, you have so many fans here. People love your music. People love you. You've worked with Nigerian artists. The thing is, it wasn't even about whether the people were Black or Africans, but everyone just saw that an injustice to one is injustice to others or to all. So she was like, we just expected you to have. I mean, for young people in Nigeria or Africa, Beyonce still is like an idol to them. She's like a fashion icon to them. Young girls want to dress like her. They want to do her dance steps and all that. So Tiwa was looking at it from the angle like, Beyonce, do you know what just holding a placard and saying NSAS will do to young people in Nigeria? I mean, they love you madly. So anyway, we'll come to that, Kareem. My other guest is here. She took a while, but she's here now. So let me bring her on to introduce herself, and then we'll go on. Hello, Favour.
I am very sorry for coming late. I am very, very sorry. Very sorry.
Okay, you're here now. That's
Yes,
bottom line. For everyone watching us, Favour is a girl child education activist. She's a researcher and a writer, and she lives in Abuja, Nigeria. Favour is actually from Sierra Leone, but she lives in Nigeria. So I am really happy because American who is residing in Philippines, and I have a Sierra Leonean who is residing in Nigeria. So it makes it all encompassing. Now, Favor, let me come to you. I'm sure you've been listening to Kareem all this while. Let me take it up from the Tiwa Savage angle because that brought a whole lot that even Beyonce's mother had to also respond. And like you heard me talking with Karim, it's not as if Tiwa felt if Beyonce had said anything, it would have changed anything. No. But what we were just saying was that, Favor, if I say you are my friend and you're going through trying times, the best I can do is to comfort you or console you or be in solidarity with you or show empathy, not just keeping me blank. You could not just keeping you blank, rather. It may not mean anything to you. It may not solve any problem, but it just goes to know that you're not alone in your struggle. I am, like I told Karim, I am not making for Tiwa, but going through her video over and over again, she was like, Beyonce is, like I told Karim, Beyonce is who a lot of girls in Africa want to emulate her fashion sense. She speaks to a culture. Beyonce has a culture in Africa and all that. But let me let you let us know your think about it, because it's really not about Black Lives Matters. It was more of, hey, like Michael Jackson will say, a lot of young boys, primary school boys, when they have anything in school, you see them want to wear black and black and dance like Michael Jackson. It wasn't like this is an American or something, but this was someone they look up to as a mentor, an idol, and all that. So, what do you think about that, Favor?
Well, from my own perspective, I see the point Tiwa Savage was trying to make because at first, if you check her work history, that's Tiwa Savage, she was working with Beyonce for a couple of years when she was back in the States. So she was her backup singer and all. So I'm pretty sure that is somebody she has already looked up to for a very long period of time. Like they worked together, she was with him, probably going on tours and all. And she has seen the fame Beyonce has, and she has looked up to her. Let me just say that maybe like an idol or a mentor per se. So for something like this to be happening in Nigeria, and as a Nigerian, Civil Savage was already expecting the fact that okay, despite what the solution we were looking for during the whole protest period, we were expecting that okay, people like Beyonce, for instance, okay, Rihanna came up and took to her Twitter page and sent something, some message how our heart goes out to Nigeria and all, they should stop the killing and all that. It really moved a lot of youth, people that love Rihanna like me. Rihanna is
True.
personally my favorite. So for that kind of message to come from somebody like Beyonce that has like literally a whole tribe of fans, because I don't call her fans an ordinary fan base. They are literally a nation. It's going to mean a lot.
True. True.
She became Africa kind of they accepted Beyonce after the whole Lion King and this her latest album of African collaboration with different musicians from African countries and all. It made her welcome, more welcome. We loved her from the beginning, from the 2000s or in 90, late 1990s. We loved her from then. But when she did the whole African theme music, our latest albums and the Lion King movie and all, Africa kind of welcomed her, the whole of Africa, Nigeria included. So for something like this to be happening in Nigeria, and Nigeria is, in fact, they are giant of Africa. Fact, that's the fact. So we were expecting that she would come out, even if okay, Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton came out with a T-shirt with
True.
the map of Nigeria and he
Nigeria, green,
started
white,
saying
green. Yeah.
that video was a very short clip we just got off the shirt. It made a whole lot of sense. In fact, people that watch that race and sport fans loved it. I have a lot of people on my contact who kept pasting the videos on their status, on their timelines, on all social medias because it meant something to them. That was what Tiwa Savage was expecting Beyonce to have done. It will have gone a long way. A long way. It will have shown support. Like, okay, I have your back. I'm not just all about producing movies that are African themed or music that are African themed or promoting the music industry of Africa, trying to bring out their artists into the international world. That's not all what I'm about. I'm also going to stand with you guys in your struggles, in your troubles, and times like that. It's just the example that you gave that you're my friend, and I expect you to be there for me when I'm going through trying times and all. So that was what was I was expecting. I felt at the point reading the response the mother gave, I felt she went a bit far. She should have tried to look at it from the angle that Beyonce is a global phenomenon. Let me put it that way. She is big. She is viewed globally, and
Yeah.
Nigeria is one country that supports her. The year Beyonce came to Nigeria, oh my God, it was crazy. Sang the national anthem and all. People went ballistic. People were going mad. So for somebody like that, we expected so much from her, so much. So, well, the mother was a bit right though. She's not a politician. She's not. Um. We're not expecting solutions from her. She can't even help.
Mm.
But the fact that she could have just raised the whole um a placard or even a T-shirt,
Yeah.
something that signified that
Yeah.
okay, she's in support of what we were going through or the challenges we're facing down here was going to mean a lot. The whole bring back our girls period when some girls were kidnapped from the northern part of Nigeria. You see people, Obama, you see Michelle Obama, they all had like placards written "Bring back our girls," hashtag bring up. That meant a lot. It comforted Nigerians. It showed that okay, people out there cared about us, not just the fact that okay they want to explore or just tap into our natural resources. And I'm speaking from the Nigerian point of view. It it meant a lot, a lot. Those pictures went viral for months during the time they were trying to locate this girl. So that was what we were expecting. But either way, what can we do? We take it as it is. Thank you.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, Favour Bassi there. I'll come back to Kareem now, but let me just say that the lines are free now. You can send your messages, and we'll read them even through the lines. Plus 234 8054 3460. That's the line. You can send a text or a message or a WhatsApp, and then on our comment section here, you could drop your messages, and my guests will read them. Kareem from let me come to you, Karim. I like the fact that you talked about growing up and how it was like for you. Now, let's even come back to peace because a whole lot of people are hurting. I remember when you had me on your show and we were talking about black slavery, how some lives, how when I remember one question you asked me particularly. You said, um, why are some black Americans not returning back to Africa, their roots and all that? And I said a whole lot of them are still grieving, So coming back will bring like nostalgic feelings for them, and it will trigger up some people who are not mentally strong enough or emotionally strong enough. So I've seen people when we were in Ghana for Young African Leadership Initiative program. We went to the slavery village somewhere. I can't remember the name again, but it brought a whole lot of emotions from even for the Americans in diaspora who came for the program. We saw them literally crying and all that. So you can imagine something that happened many, 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 many years ago, and then just seeing those chains, seeing the clothes and all that, it still brought back memory. So one of the reasons why a lot of African Americans are not coming back to Africa is not because they don't want to invest, but because they are still grieving and they've not really had that African Americans to heal because we still have, and then the Black Lives Matters is also not helping matters. We also, like you said, people didn't believe that that Floyd video was going to go that viral. At first, it was a little like, okay, it's what we see all the time, but then from nowhere, you know, it just became a sporadic thing. People started reposting. Other people who recorded such videos, even from different angles, we didn't know there was someone else who was standing behind watching. The person didn't do anything, but some more videos kept rolling out. So what would you like to say to people who are healing? Because some of these reprisal attacks could be as a result of people seeking revenge. So what would you like to say?
Well, first of all, nice to meet you, Miss Favor. Glad that you're here. Glad to meet you. Um, I'll address one thing that you said, though, Miss Favor, that I think that you guys are missing about the Black Lives Matter. Beyonce and those people, they didn't do anything for Black Lives Matter, you guys. They came in late. And in the beginning, there was no celebrities. No one needed a celebrity. Every protest, every rally, everything that you saw were citizens. I mean, I'm talking about a year ago, over a year ago. If you look back into the original, when they first started doing the Black Lives Matter hashtag, when the protests happened, when George Floyd, celebrities didn't do anything in the beginning, none. It was actually an issue in the States. But the issue wasn't that we're the celebrities. The issue was we don't need celebrities. We got Shaniqua, Shantae, Tyrone, Emmanuel, Favor. We don't need the celebrities. So when the celebrities finally came out, and Beyonce was not the first one, okay, but when they finally came out and they started supporting Black Lives Matter and supporting the police brutality and things like that, they were behind the NBA, the NFL protest, the kneeling. They were late in the game. And I think that a lot of people in Africa, if you want to learn anything from that situation, is that Savage, who gives a damn about Beyonce? Why are we talking about Beyonce? You can do more than Beyonce. And if Beyonce wants to jump on the bandwagon 6 months from now, great. But to expect her to do something, and Rihanna also, those are two that are not fully Black American. Rihanna's not even American. I think she's from the Bahamas, something like that. And she doesn't even live in America right now. So, and you've got two Black elite people. What you really need to be doing, Savage, is using your own American people who follow you and get them to believe. Because initially, I'm telling you, it was not celebrities. So Black Lives Matter did not get protesting, did not go global because of Beyonce. They went global because regular citizens like myself went off our platforms. I didn't talk about business. I talked about politics on my little platform. I went and did exposés on what to eat during Corona, the racism and things like that. Citizens. Then the celebrities came recently. In the beginning, it was a very known thing where we did not want celebrities to come up in here and take things. Eventually, when they did, Beyonce, she was just talking. Videos and things like that, and holding. That's not what you need. You don't need to advertise this. You need to get with the citizens, let the people create the movement, because Black Lives Matter had nothing to do with Beyonce, nothing to do with Rihanna, nothing to do with those people. George Floyd, if you look at who's protesting, those are regular citizens. And then their influence brought the celebrities to it from that point. Politicians, no one. We didn't need anybody. I didn't get this cup because Beyonce sold this to me. I paid to have these made and have in the Philippines. And more citizens, I think, need to stop caring what the hell celebrities are doing. Even Savage. Who cares about Savage? You know who needs to be working? The regular people need to be in the streets, showing these celebrities what really matters to them, because celebrity has nothing to do with protest. It's cute. It might get likes. They're very popular, but you don't need popularity. You need effectiveness. And what we know as Black Americans who've been protesting, and a lot of Africans that we talked about in your last show, Emmanuel, don't understand. 50 years ago, an African couldn't get on a plane and come to America to have a job, or to have a concert, or to buy a house, or to vote, or to get married. So the protests that Black American people, citizens did, not celebrities. Remember, Muhammad Ali wasn't rich when he didn't want to fight and went to the Philippines and threw Manila and all that. He wasn't rich yet. He was losing money. He didn't know how he was going to feed his children. He wasn't that big of a fighter then. And being a fighter back then was not a celebrity. He became a celebrity because he had a stance. So this is an opportunity for someone like Savage, and I'm saying her name right, correct? The sexy black girl, the little video. Okay. Okay. I'm just amazed her name is Savage. But anyway, but the thing with me is that that's not what we need. That's not how we did it. We did it because Black women, specifically Black Lives Matter, was founded by Black women. Keep that in mind. Okay, not Black men, not white men, not politicians, a Black woman, right? And Black women in America, I'm sure the same thing in Africa, are notorious for organizing and motivating and pushing agendas. That's why this new Joe Biden has a Black girl, well, Black-ish girl as a vice president. She's also not Black American, right? She's a Black woman, but she's not what we would consider a Black American, descendants of slave. Like my name is Jackson. So obviously I was owned by the Jackson family slave house. So she's not one of those. But what I'm saying is that if anything that Africans can learn from how Black Americans we did it, to hell with the celebrities. I wouldn't even mention their name because they have nothing to do with it. The names that we were mentioning that got us to the celebrities, George Floyd. That's a name now. So who are these? Start pushing the names of the people who are being brutalized or hurt by these police. Start pushing the names of folks that are dying of SARS. You don't need a celebrity to do that. You don't need money to do that. And so I think that if there's anything that I can say is that we kept the celebrities out in the beginning. It was very known that we didn't need you to come in here and save our freaking butts unless you were coming in here with combat boots on to do something. We're not poor Blacks anymore. We don't need the money. You know what I mean? That wasn't what it was about. We have money. It wasn't about that. It was about people supporting. And at this point, it wasn't Black people. We wanted white folks that we knew to support us. We wanted Mexican folks and women and all these other nationalities to support us, because the issue that people don't realize in America, Black Lives Matter isn't about Black people. I don't feel it that's not how I feel about it. I feel it's like people forget that until Black Americans, former slaves, protested, no one but white men in America could vote on land. No woman could have a credit card, a checking account. They forget that. They protested to drink in the water fountains. My father, I was in the car with him and would wait and do my homework while he protested to get contracts from government companies that he was a contractor. He'd build homes and things like that and construction. So he protested, like picket signs, just to get government contracts to use their tax money, our tax money, to build homes or to landscape buildings and things like that. They protested for that. So a lot of folks don't understand is that by us protesting something, we are just the spearhead that comes through. And just to reiterate, I'm sorry to seem like I'm bringing your parade, but you don't need Savage or no one. Black women, the regular old Black girl in the village probably has more experience organizing that village for something
like
she believes in than any Savage out there. And that's how we did it.
Yeah, and Favour was even in the forefront, during the protest and all that. Yeah. Favour, you said something that I'll come back to you, Kareem. Favour said something about bring back our girls, because while you were talking about that, it just occurred to me and you reiterated it. So yes, I understand Kareem very well. I understand where he's coming from, but Kareem, you know that celebrities also have a way of speaking to the conscience of people. It's a culture. It's you guys are there, so you may not understand how it works for people who are not there. So for instance, for me, people who know me very well may not be too excited about seeing me, but there are places I will go to. People who've never seen me are like, oh, we've heard about you and all that. So I also understand what Favour was also saying. But Favour, let's even talk about the Bring Back Our Girls, because it also was a world attention-seeking thing.
Bring back what?
Bring Back Our Girls. It's called Bring Back
Oh,
Our Girls. A couple
girls,
of girls
girls,
who,
ladies.
yeah,
Okay.
a couple of girls, that from Chibok and all that. So, Favor, speak to us more about that because we saw a whole lot of celebrities also lend their voice. So, we weren't saying that celebrities talking about the issues were going to solve anything, but it's all about solidarity. I mean, the world is a global village, and we expect, like they say, dollar rules the world and all that. So, it's not like when they speak or carry placards. And you mentioned it, Favor. Even Michelle Obama, then when she was the first lady, also rocked the placards and all that. So speak to us a little about this, Favor.
Well, at first, when the incident happened, it was just a thing in Nigeria. Some people called it a plot of the government. Some people said it was something that the government was doing to divide attention from the ongoing crisis we're having or some things that were happening. But towards, I think after a month or so, and parents, the social media and the news medias are already coming out giving videos of parents in tears and communities crying for their girls and the kids of families that were taken at that period of time. We started realizing how serious this issue was. So I think it was from that point people in the outside world internationally started seeing the seriousness of the issue, how serious it was, and what people were going through. It's not easy to lose a child, whether it is a week old, or even pregnant women that lose their babies even before they are giving birth to. So not to talk of people in secondary school, primary school ages. You've lived with them for years and all, getting to know them, shared moments with them and all. So at the time, there was a time when people started reaching out to the government in foreign countries, the UN, UNICEF, who are for majorly kids and all. So when President Obama, I think it was president at that time, a picture came out with him having a placard that was written hashtag bring back our girls. It was emotional. It was really emotional because we're thinking the president of a global nation like that had the time to send out the message, send out his regard, send out his warm feeling to us as to how bad the situation was, how he felt as a parent, as a leader. It was bad. He felt sad at the point. But then we started realizing that the more international bodies were coming into the situation, into the trying to solve the problem, trying to give us hope that they're going to find them or nothing has happened to them. The parents to hold on, have faith, and believe that yeah, eventually they're going to find this girl. It gave us hope as Nigerians, gave the people hope because during that time they had this whole Boko Haram issue that was ravaging the country. So people were devastated. So it was a very serious problem. And then the Boko Haram issue compared now just okay, the kidnapping or the adoption of these girls just added more to the stress of Nigerians. We were worried about being safe, we were worried about not being killed, we were worried about not being in a crowded place and a bomb goes off. And then some group of girls, young girls that didn't know anything, were just taken away like that from their school. So it was a really emotional period for the country. But when international celebrities, let me put it that way, started coming out and showing their support, it meant a lot. So I understand what Mr. Karim is saying about the whole Super Savage and Beyonce saga. Because well, the thing is, yes, I think you are saying we should not expect so much from celebrities. That's a fact. Especially this NSAS thing is something that was being faced by every Nigerian, young, old, middle age. Because at the point you have a clash with police, at the point you whether at the traffic point or whether you were moving around late at night and you come in contact with them, whether as a young person you're driving a very um expensive car, they stop you on the road trying to search your phone and things like that in relation to fraud and all. We've all faced it. Even some of the celebrities gave their experiences of how guns were pointed at them or how they were harassed by the police. I understand Mr. Karim's point. Yes, we're not expecting that they're going to it's going to mean a lot that okay, a celebrity came out to support. These are issues that are being faced by everybody in the country, celebrity or not. You are a Nigerian first before even being a celebrity. So I understand the point of view he's given, even though yes, it helps the fact that because it is majorly young people who are involved in this protest. That is the reason why we were looking forward to celebrities because young people are being influenced. They're in the stage where anything any of their stars or their favorite superstars do, we are influenced by it. The hair color, hairstyles, mood of walking, the talking. You see all these some of my friends who are they love Jamaican superstar. You hear them say Watagwan just like that. Not a palace in Nigeria. It's not something we say in Nigeria, but you see them, it becomes part of them. You see some of my female friends who are Beyonce fans, you see them trying to do her dance video, this her new song, they dress the same. If Beyonce rocks a certain kind of braid, they want to do it. So things like that. That was why people were reaching out to them because they're going to give more strength. If I look up to you, for instance, and I want to do something, and you tell me, "Oh, girl, go, girl, you can do it. You have it in you. You're strong, and all that." It gives me more courage to do that thing. You understand? So that was the reason why we're not exactly looking for solutions from them because um these issues are all we're all facing the same thing, celebrity or not, whether you are living in a very large house or in a smaller house. No, we are all going to eventually go out to the street trying to fend for ourselves, trying to go to work, trying to go for shows. You're a singer or you're an actor, you all go out to do one or two things. So the fact that you're going out, you are definitely somehow along the way or along the time you're going to get in contact with a policeman or the people from the start and also that was the major issue. We're looking forward to them trying to encourage us. And so that was how it ended up coming towards the bring back our girls situation. It helped calm Nigerians. We were agitated at the point that oh wow, the government was not doing anything, nothing was happening. We didn't know whether or not these girls were alive. Even though yeah, thankfully, thank God, some of them were at the point started coming back, started finding them, started locating some of them were released at the point. So these all that before all that happened, we needed the hope that okay, we are with you, we stand by you. It's just like okay when the UN started or maybe Hillary Clinton, for instance. She is my personal favorite person. I love her. So when she came out and he was he sent her regards, he sent out how he felt about the killings that's going on. It meant a lot to me as a person. Even though yes, that he was not a Nigerian, he was not anywhere close, he doesn't know how the situation is. He's just saying that based on what she's seeing, the videos and pictures that have been sent out that have gone viral. So when she came out and said that she's saddened about the whole thing, about all the killings that have been going on, I took it very personal. It in fact it made me want to keep going more and more, trying to do okay, come out and protest and go against this, go against that and stand for our rights and all that. It made me really, really happy because somebody like that to come out and actually show support. So it's not exactly that Tiwa Savage was trying to okay say Beyonce must come out and support Nigeria. Yes, yes, yes. She's claiming African heritage and African culture in her movies and in her songs and all. So, but we wanted that we are not just going to copy her hairstyle. We're not going to copy her songs, trying to mime her songs, trying to rap the things she say, trying to give her quote. We wanted her to know that we wanted to know that she was part of as she's claiming in her songs and in videos and lifestyle and all. So we
Okay.
wanted that. So
Uh,
thank you. Oh.
Okay, thank you so much, Favor. So many messages here, but I really like the conversation, and that's why I'm doing more of the conversation than reading messages. So, Karim, help us read this message here on the screen, and as we wrap up, finally, this is from Matthias Idris. Could you help us read this?
I've got to read from my back. I apologize, you guys, but I'm looking over here. Um, exactly. Peace is all we need now because when there is no peace, there's no development. I'm in promoting peace. We need to have high tolerance for one another, recognize and appreciate experiences of shared humanity across diverse groups, and lastly, respect each other's
Okay.
religion. I, can I address a couple of things about? I'm not saying that celebrities don't matter and don't help the movement. They can sell T-shirts. They can sell. That I understand the celebrity of it, but I think that what I'm saying is that if a Black American mentality is this. Okay, say that Savage reached out or Nigerians reached out, and every Nigerian or African loves her and all of that crap, and she's their idol. I get that. So then you know what? Maybe then you guys all need to go online and burn your Beyonce wigs or burn your Beyonce shirts and do social media videos and blackball her and shame her.
I didn't
Because
think
what
you
I'm
were going
saying
to
is
do that.
that's how citizens do
Get
it.
more.
That's what we did. We burned down buildings. We burned flags. We let you know that, hey, this isn't working. This is not going to happen. And with celebrities, I'm not saying that we don't need them, but what I'm saying is it wasn't celebrities for Black Lives Matter in the beginning in Germany or Korea or China or what. That wasn't what we saw. It was regular people from social media where Americans were, that had American friends, or maybe they had American friends abroad, or like me here in Asia, folks that came and bought our Black Lives Matter Philippines merchandise that were not Black, they were Filipinos. I think that if that's the way that the Africans really feel, the stance from the Black American perspective would have been for Savage, for example, to burn her Beyonce CD. There's no CDs anymore, but you know what I mean. It would have been not just be on a tape and do a video saying, girl, where you at? That's not going to do anything. But I do really, really believe, and you understand too, in the American for our perspective, is that we've never had government support. We've never had business support. There were laws in place to keep us from buying homes and things like that. The police are really great right now. We're just complaining they're not perfect. They were much worse 50 years ago to Black people. So you're not seeing it in the sense that now Beyonce's jumping in. Now the celebrities are jumping in. We didn't see any of that. Kaepernick was the first one in the NFL to kneel, and he again is a little mixed, right? So, and he only kneeled. He still doesn't have his job back, even though all the teams or whatever, have apologized, and he can go back to playing football again. But again, I'm just saying is that if that's how the people, the citizen, this show is about citizens, right? If that's how the citizens feel, then don't ask Beyonce for crap. Stop buying her stuff. That's how we got America. Money. We boycotted the buses. That's how we were allowed to sit in the front of the bus. Because eventually some smart Black woman, that's another Black woman, it wasn't a Black dude, by the way. Some Black
Women are
woman,
powerful.
yeah, somehow popped up and said, you know what? How many Negroes times how many buses times how many trips times 3 cents per day take that bus? And then they got together and they boycotted the entire bus system, which shut the bus system down. So all of a sudden they realized Negroes are the ones that are spending the most money, not whites. And that happened the same way with movies. Black Panther made more money than any movie in Hollywood till now. I think maybe there's one new one. I can't think of the name of it because of COVID, but I think there was one movie that came out between then and now that made a lot of money. But that's it.
3 5 days.
And mind you, let me tell you this too. Black Panther was partly shot at a Black man studio. It wasn't shot in Hollywood. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that what Africans need to realize is that Okay, who's paying for the police? Who's paying these doctors? Who's the one supporting? Why is Savage a celebrity? If you like Beyonce so much, then you need to have 10,000 Black Africans in Nigeria on their YouTube and their TikToks burning her crap. Saying, if that's how you really feel, I'm not saying do that. I love Beyonce. I think that there's nothing she really can think that she could do because she's only a celebrity. She's not a politician. She's not. So someone has to, maybe it could be Savage, but someone has to come to her and say, girl, just do this for me. But the truth of it is, you're giving them too much power. You know, the power is yours. And mind you, Rosa Parks on the bus wasn't a celebrity. Colin Kaepernick wasn't a celebrity when he kneeled. You know, he was a football player. I mean, he made money, but it wasn't like he was, one of the top players. Everyone knew him, and I think that a lot of people, one thing that we've learned in America is money talks. Yeah. So if you really feel that way and you really want the reform and you want folks to recognize, I think that Nigerians stop buying the crap. Stop downloading the crap. Because
I actually agree. Like,
that's how I
been center of protest from time immemorial. You guys had to fight for everything. I did American history in high school, and I knew the whole thing from the 70s
exactly.
For everything, right to vote, right to dress, even up to that. The women were wearing skirts at the point that were above their knees. They had to fight for that too, and it's amazing. The U.S. and Black Americans are one of the strongest set of people in the world, but they didn't really have to fight
we fight, sister.
right now.
We fight, and we don't call a celebrity. You feel me? If they want to get on the bandwagon, that's cool. But it's like we call auntie.
Yeah,
we call cousin. And that is the biggest fear. You know that. You know what I'm saying? The truth of it is, they could pay off Beyonce. She's only one person, but you can't pay off 1 million Black people that are protesting. Remember the Million Man March, for example, in Washington, D.C., before. And then you mentioned Barack and Michelle Obama. They weren't celebrities before. They were poor people who made it to where they were. So they're not what we would call celebrities. You know what I'm saying?
The regular ones, yeah.
Yeah, they are celebrity. They have celebrity because of their personal success. She's a Black woman, but she's the smartest first lady in American history, the most educated in history, but she's not treated that way. So she's a celebrity because they earned it, not because, and the same with Beyonce, by the way. She's a celebrity because she busted her ass and her father did, things like that, and made her do things and practice and things like that. So those people are more real people than a celebrity. And I just really believe in the people of doing and fighting and protesting for what they want, getting on shows, learning from Black Americans that way. Maybe they should call Black Lives Matter, not Beyonce. You feel me? Like, maybe call the organization, not her. You know what I mean? Like,
Kareem.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to wrap up now. We really need to go, but I'll need you all to tell us what way forward for peace, because we could go on and on and on. So many school of thoughts, and then when everyone says their minds, you just see the reason why they are doing what they are doing. I mean, even for people who kill, they will always give you a reason why they kill. People will steal, people will peddle drugs, people will kidnap, people will traffic children, will always tell you a reason. Everyone will have one genuine or cogent reason. So in your final words, Kareem, what would be your word of advice to everyone as we begin to look for peace? I mean, we're just begging for 2020 to just go. Let it just go. We are tired already.
Tree up already. I'm like, move
we
out.
Are tired.
I got the Christmas carols playing already. I got the lights on the house. I'm like, just skip Halloween, skip Thanksgiving, just go right to New Year's. What I think, to be honest, is that I really have a lot of faith right now. To me, coronavirus that happened globally was actually a big blessing. I think it woke up the world at the same time. I think that right now, the entire world is being rebooted. The entire world is realizing they can work online. The entire world is realizing the value of each other and the people. I think that everyone is seeing the racism in the States. Everyone is, and other people are focusing and seeing opportunities in Africa, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Ghana. They're realizing that as well. And now a lot of folks, especially Black folks, are now working from home. They're realizing I could live from anywhere. I can go to Africa. I can go to Asia. I can go to anywhere and work. I don't need to be in a racist environment. And I think that that's a good thing for Africa, because now you're going to have eventually millions and millions of Black Americans who are successful, like the Beyoncés and things like that, like myself, for example, who are looking at Africa to live part-time and to grow part-time. And as they focus and look at Africa more, then we have the resources and the brain power to bring knowledge back home to Africa, even though it might be 400 or 500 years late. Now that we come back like every other nationality does, like Filipinos, they go abroad, they work, they get educated, even Africans for that matter. Then they go back to their homeland and they bring the knowledge usually with them. I think that as that happens, a lot of those things are going to be fixed, because Americans like myself, I'm an American in Asia. I'm not a Filipino citizen or Asian citizen. And so a lot of Black Americans, like diaspora, when they go back to Africa with their dual residency, they're still Americans abroad. So they still bring with them rights and civilities and things like that. And I think that we really need to get more Black Americans focused on Africa, seeing Africans, not necessarily celebrities and things like that. They're great. But of all the celebrities that have ventured to Ghana, all of them, I mean, from Barack Obama all the way to, just tons of celebrities went there with the whole Black sit and the whole, year of the return. That hasn't boomed anything. It hasn't triggered anything. They don't have that kind of influence. But it is growing to be more popular now, just by regular Africans or Black Americans posting on YouTube, buying homes and posting it, things like that, the positive stuff. I think that too often we see negative in Africa, and that needs to be stopped. And I'll say this as a caveat, I'm done, is because understand the reason why I even knew about the Philippines and I came here and started after the corrupt legacy that they had built however many years ago, before I even knew what the Philippines was really about. I was invited by President Aquino, the president before here, and I produced a magazine promoting positive images about the Philippines lifestyle, because they had fixed it. The corruption was down. The call centers were brand new. The infrastructure was new. And I think that, to be honest, Africa needs to do that on their own. Forget the celebrities and the rich folks. They need to do that and really start creating things that, yes, there's bad in Africa. Things happen, SARS or whatever. But SARS, it ain't nothing like 250,000 dead in the last 6 months in America. And they have money. These aren't poor folks in a village dying somewhere. These are working class people, politicians, governors, celebrities, wives and husbands, all the way down to the poor folks. So I think that Africa really, as a citizen, needs to come together and produce a publication or a show or something specifically about tourism and positive images of Africa. That's it. Not the drama, not venting, not complaining, nothing like that.
Not looking for celebrity.
Yeah, not celebrities, none of that. Really just focus. Yeah. That's what the Philippines did. I was here a decade ago when they did this, and I've tried a few times to do different things in Africa, Emmanuel, and they've never been funded, or they've never been pushed, because no one really wants to step in and really market the positive things, which means they got to find the positive things, right? You got to document the positive things. The most Americans that are doing YouTubes and things like that, those are the folks in Africa that have the more influence than a celebrity does. because they can really they work somewhere. They are diplomats, or they are, visa holders and things like that, and they're already in Africa. So the citizens, I just really think that Africa should come together, especially Nigeria and Ghana. Ghana's already doing it in a good way, but all those celebrities, sister, in Ghana, you tell me the truth. You would think every Black American be living in Africa by now. All the celebrities they've had there. The President Obama himself was there. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but did you see 747s pulling up with Americans relocating? No. Um, and but there's a movement, but it's not because of them, is my point. They came because of the movement, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Thank you very much, Kareem. Okay, Favor, your last passing word.
Mm. Oh, well, Karim has said a lot. So, well, from my own view, peace is something we need globally. We need it in the world. We need it in the US, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, everywhere. And he's actually right about Africa being portrayed in negative up till now, as we have modernization and advancement in technology and all. Africa is still being portrayed in the negative. Up till now, I saw a video recently, I think before the whole corona lockdown that happened. I saw a video, it was a comedy skit, like sort of. Some guy was in, I think, Los Angeles, he was interviewing white people. He was saying, "Where do you think Nigeria is?" And the guy was saying, "Is that even a country?" I'm like,
Whoa.
Nigeria. If you're saying somewhere like Sierra Leone, what would the person be? He would probably ask you if it's a tree or something. Because Sierra Leone is smaller compared to Nigeria. And so in that kind of situation, it dawns on me that people out there, some people still think Africa is still in the dark ages where you have people living in trees or that wear leaves on their body as clothes and all. And our media, our news agencies, I'm sorry, are not even helping that. At a point in my life, I love movies. There's a time when I stopped watching a movie where there is a black actor and there's a white actor. You know, right? I do not watch that because there's no point at which it's going to get where the black man is going to be maybe the hero of the film, or where he's going to be the good one. He's always going to be a criminal. He's going to be poor. He's going to be living on the street. He's going to be homeless. He's going to end up in jail, or at worst being killed. So I do not. But Africa has gotten to the point where we're making waves in the world. We're producing surgeons who are doing miracles in medical fields. We're producing business tycoons, all tycoons. We have the mind of, we do amazing things in Africa. Not to talk of what the youth are doing. So Africa has gone to the point where we are supposed to be mapped in the world. We are supposed to be put on a global stage. We are already there, but it's not as we would want it to be. And peace is one of those things that can put Africa in that point, in that limelight. Because up till now, we have Africa is having a lot of issues. What is happening in Congo, in what happened in Rwanda, in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, what happened recently in Nigeria. Africa has a lot of things to handle. But peace is one of the major things we need. We need reform in so many things in our government, in our ruling systems, in whether it's monarchy or democracy or whatever they are practicing, parliamentarian and the rest. We need a reform in everything, in our security systems, in our catering system for our people and all. So in situations like that, peace is one of the things we need. It is a major factor. People are dying, people are suffering, people are hurting in Africa. But if we can incorporate peace and avoid a lot of unnecessary war, because some of them are actually very unnecessary. Just you see some militant group somewhere just rise up and start killing people. Your own people. Africans are killing each other, and it needs to stop. So we need peace. We have international bodies, we have UN, UNICEF, and the rest that support things like this. Even though yes, we have a lot of like Geneva Conference where they gave a lot of rules that are binding the involvement of international bodies into certain issues that are facing the country. But at a point, some of these rules don't really need to apply because it somehow prevents them from coming to the aid of African countries, especially developing African countries. You have African countries that are doing well. South Africa, you have those are countries that every African wants to go because of how their system is, how they operate. Even though they have their own issues too, they have things they're dealing with. But you see other Africans running to go there because of better ways of living, modes of living, and all. But we need peace, and it's going to start from us in Africa, not the ones in diaspora or international bodies out there or the UN. Or if we can't live with ourselves, we can't respect, like Mr. Karim says, we can't respect ourselves, we can't respect our cultures, and like the comments that you read, we need to respect our religion. That's how we. This is how we do. This is how you do. We are not going to foster peace between ourselves. And if we can't do that, there's little or nothing international bodies can do. So that is my own take on the whole peace thing. And thank you very much for having me, Mr. Karim. It was a wonderful time. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for having me. And I want to say that's it.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. I really thank Karen Jackson, all the way from Philippine Asia, for joining us. He's always a regular on this show, and he's always exciting to have. I think Karim, I will bring you back another time for us to talk exclusively. You and Favor this time again for us to talk exclusively on entrepreneurship. The last time we had discussions on how Black Americans or African Americans can um, come back to Africa and invest. We had a whole lot of feedback saying that it was a nice program, and then we needed to bring you again. So, Karim, I'll find time again to bring you because you're always our delight here. And I saw his post before the program how he was preparing his hair for our program. Your dreadlocks are beautiful, Karim. And yes, thank you, Favor, as well, for being there for us. Thanks to everyone who watched, everyone who joined us. Yeah, I know the videos are also here, and a lot of people watch even after the show because of countries different and zones different and all that. Yeah, so the videos will be here on YouTube and on Facebook because we're streaming live on three destinations actually, on YouTube and then on Shagalinku TV page, and on my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari's one. So the videos will be here for you all to watch, and then still drop your comments and all that. Thank you to everyone who's always supported us on this program. And till I see you on Saturday for the Saturday's edition, please, please, and please, wherever you are, peace is paramount. For those of you doing revenge attacks and those who are breaking into warehouses to cut away goods, just remember that those things are for human beings and citizens like you, and those who have been destroying properties and all that. Remember that some of these properties and some of these companies, citizens like you actually took money, took loans from banks just to set up these things. And the more we destroy infrastructures, the more we are sending more people into unemployment. Because when companies are destroyed or burnt down, they will sack their workers. And it could be your brother or sister or your friend, and he or she will go out of job. Just when we are saying 2020 is just on its own, a drama full, and then we're adding more and more and more of unemployment. So please, people, stay safe. Remember to touch a life. Till I see you next on Saturday. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, urging you to have a beautiful Tuesday and enjoy the rest of the day. God bless you all, and bye bye.